What is going on, guys? It's Everett here. In this video, we're going to talk about your feet. So the stronger your feet are, the better your knees, your hips, and your low back are going to do. It's going to increase your performance, whether or not you're a field athlete or like a strength and conditioning athlete doing something like powerlifting or Olympic lifting. Now, I originally made a video that includes some of these moves a long time ago, almost a year ago. That video is still really good. I'll throw a link up here. It was in a 4-part series on building better ankles and calf and ankle flexibility. But I actually wasn't as good at making videos back then, and these two movements are super important, so I thought I'd do a little shorter recap video. So it goes without saying, most of us aren't treating our feet very well. We're sitting a lot, we're wearing shoes with big heels, and we're walking on concrete in a straight line. And you develop to walk, in all different sorts of directions on different terrain. So your toes got to move around, they got to be free outside of shoes, and you're just moving a lot more. Now the body is incredible. A lot of people think it's just constantly dying or degenerating, but it's actually renewing and rebuilding itself all the time. All you have to do is get out of its way. So even with decades of treating your body poorly and still working a job where you sit, 8 to 10 hours a day, just doing these two movements a couple minutes a day consistently can actually add a lot to your life and help you out with, again, feet and ankle, but also those knees, hips, and low back. Now, with that said, this isn't the only thing you might need to do for other issues you have with your ankles or your big toes or your knees, but it's something that if you are consistent with, I have a saying, everything's everything. It's probably gonna help you, and it takes next to no time, all right? So let's hop into it. All right, so I'm in the Captain's Morgan's pose, and the first movement are foot crunches. So you can see here, I have pretty flat feet, and this is really going to affect walking, running, squatting, really wide stance squatting and sumo deadlifting, because the tendency is to really collapse this arch, and that's gonna pull that knee in. You're gonna get, not as much glute in your movements. Your adductors will probably start to get tight, and that's a lot of rotation and leaning happening on the knee. So knee pain, inside knee pain, there's just a slew of things that can start to happen from weak feet. And again, I've got flat feet, but I've really taught myself both just mind to muscle connection, how to create a good arch, and then strengthen up that position to where when I have hundreds of pounds on my back pressing my arch down, I can still maintain a good arch. So a lot of talking for a pretty simple move, but I just always want to explain what's going on so that way you actually do it and stick with it. Now we're going to go from flat foot, and by the way, you can do this even if you don't have flat feet, but flat foot, and I'm going to create an arch. All right. Now, what I'm not doing is curling my toes. That's actually going to be involved in the next movement coming up. So I'm literally trying to just contract the muscles around my arch and almost like the top of my foot. You're going to feel this a lot more in your shin. So if you have trouble finding the muscles, think about your shin. So I would start out pretty neutral with the knee right over the ankle, and then just crunch into a good arch and back down. Crunch, good arch, back down. It might take a couple reps just to connect with what you're doing. So again, shin and maybe even lower in the ankle. Crunch and then back down. So something like 3 sets of 10 per side, 3 sets of 12 per side. If your knuckles get a little white, that probably means you're curling too much with the toes. And again, that's important because most of the time, say for instance squatting, we want to squat with nice wide spread out toes. And so if you're curling your toes to make that arch, now you can't spread the toes out to create that nice strong base and use your big toe for stability in the good tripod position with the little toe, the big toe, and the heel that we usually like to have for something like squatting. So you can do this standing, you can do a higher bench, a lower bench, play around with it because you'll actually feel this differently and get more or less of an arch depending on your foot position. So again, 3 sets of 10, really simple, every single day for a minimum of a week. So next up we have what I call toe curls, and it's pointing the foot and then pulling the foot up into dorsal and plantar flexion, and we're gonna be moving our toes around. Now this is easy to just kind of flop the ankle around. You really wanna pretend like you're pushing and pulling against something and try to squeeze all the muscles around the foot, the toes, and the lower leg, especially at the end of the range of motions. And again, the workout is pretty simple. 3 sets of 10 reps, 4 sets of 8 reps in each direction. So I like to do these sitting, and I like this bench because it allows my feet to hang off a little bit, just in case you have really tight hamstrings. It can affect your movement If you're perfectly laying down on the ground and your ankles are up like this, it'll also block your ankle from moving. So find something that can almost like dangle your legs off like this. So pretty simple. I'm going to push as far as I can, point, and then I'm gonna curl my toes down, and I'm really gonna feel this, and then pull up, and then open up my toes, all right? Push down as far as I can, curl, squeeze, up, try to squeeze and curl more, open my toes. And you can see my knees bending a little bit there. That's all right. You don't want a whole lot of movement at the knee though. So push, curl, up, open. Then you can go the opposite way. Curl, push, open. Pull up, curl, push, open. And once you've done those, you can also throw in a couple reps of just a neutral foot position and then curling down and squeezing really hard and then opening up like this. If those full toe curls are too difficult, you can do maybe like a week or two of just don't involve the ankles at all, just doing the toe curls and good squeezes. Again, this is something that takes like 30 seconds, even with a little bit of rest. And as you open up your toes, just trying to spread your toes as well, curl down, open and spread. It seems very, very silly, but again, the body loves healing itself. So if your feet are in shoes, you're just walking on concrete in a straight line, just doing reps of this every single day. And yeah, it might take weeks or months, but that time is gonna pass no matter what. This will absolutely help strengthen your feet and all of the muscles around your lower leg, and again, could in turn help knees, hips, and ankles. This helps me out a ton with squatting, especially when I'm in shoes that don't have a very big heel, and I really gotta grip the ground. If you're used to getting nagging injuries of ankles and knees, maybe if you go run outside on uneven ground in the grass, this will help prepare you to go do those random movements that you can never train specifically for. So it gives you a little resiliency in your lower limb and just a little bit of leeway in case something goes wrong. You trip, you roll your ankle, you've at least prepared your body to be there in some way. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really hope the movements help you. And if you have a quick second, hit the like button if you like the movements. It's what it's there for. It's gonna help the channel out and it'll help other people who have feet issues find this video, which will help them out as well. So everybody wins. If you want to further support the channel and get more flexible, mobile, stronger hips, I've made a full 16-part video e-course on hip mobility. So it's 2.5 hours long. It's on my website, link in the description. Or if that's not what you're looking for, but you are looking for fitness programs for either at home with no equipment or to take to the gym with you to get into powerlifting and get bigger, stronger muscles, I have programs on my website as well. So again, thank you for watching. Hope this helps and see you in the next video.